What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm hopping on Tiermaker and I'm going to be ranking the new 2021 AFL Indigenous jumpers on Tiermaker. I'm sure there's going to be a barrage of these sort of Tiermaker videos over the next couple of days because Indigenous round is starting up this week, and for some reason it's split between 2 weeks, so it's not just this week but it's the week after. Don't really know why that's the case, but regardless, I guess it means that we get to see these jumpers worn maybe for 2 weeks instead of one. I have no idea, but yeah, if you want to check out the Tiermaker, it'll be in the description. If you want to do your own Tiermaker for your own channel, just make sure to give me a bit of credit. But as I said before, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other people who are doing this sort of video. It's definitely not too much of an original idea. Although I think I might be the first person to get this out that I know of. Sammy GFC, another person, he said he'd get it out as well. So yeah, I'll put his link down below in the description if you want to have a look at his. Enough with that, let's just get straight into it. So the tiers are outstanding, great, good, decent, and mediocre. I didn't really put in a tier that critiqued the Guernseys too harshly, like a bad or a terrible, because, you know, mainly going to just rank these on, you know, aesthetic and how these Guernseys look to the naked eye. And that's usually how I rank most Guernseys and other stuff when I'm doing these tier makers, rather than like the proper meaning behind them. So first off, we've got Adelaide. I'll quickly zoom in on this one. Ooh, this is an alright one. I don't actually know what's on the Guernsey, if I'm going to be completely honest, but it looks pretty cool. I think that's a sun. And yeah, is that no, it's not a dolphin. I don't know. Well, you know, obviously there'll be a bigger picture of the Guernsey up on screen. It's alright. I mean, it's nothing too special. I know a lot of the other ones out here pop out to me a lot more. I'll chuck it in decent for now. West Coast. Now, this one I'm pretty sure is inspired by a rainbow python or a rainbow serpent, and it looks pretty cool. The colours, they're very, very nice. I actually really like this Guernsey. I mean, West Coast has some pretty handy colours, you know, blue and gold. When you're trying to work with creative Guernseys, you've got a very good colour style, and especially it works well with the Indigenous Guernseys. This one's one of the best out there. I'm going to chuck it in great. I'm not going to chuck it any in outstanding as of yet. And next up, we've got the Brisbane Lions ones. They've actually gone out and designed two, which I'm assuming they're going to wear one for the 1 week, one for the second week. That's the only logical explanation for that. But they've decided to implement the Fitzroy monogram on top of the Guernsey, which is a very nice feature and a nice touch. And they've, you know, got the Fitzroy red for the home, I'm assuming, and the Fitzroy with the white away. I don't think I've ever seen that, even for a non-Indigenous Guernsey. And then you just got the a couple of patterns around the monogram as well, which yeah, adds a nice touch to it. So probably both of these, I've got to say, Brisbane do a very, very good job with their Guernsey designs. This is definitely no exception. I'm gonna have to chuck these up in great. Probably, I'll probably put the red one above the West Coast and the white one below the West Coast. I think I can say that the red one is a bit better. Next up, we've got the Western Bulldogs Guernsey, and this one's a pretty good one. We've got obviously the red, blue, and white. The red and white stripes with a couple of boomerangs, and I don't know what I think it's just a dot painting or a big circle with dots around in the middle. Looks pretty good, slick and stylish, but nothing too outlandish, nothing too amazing. You know, I've seen it all before, that sort of stuff. I think the Bulldogs have rocked this similar sort of Guernsey before, but this is a new design. I'll chuck it bang in the good, because it's a good Guernsey, but nothing too amazing. And next up, we've got the Collingwood Guernsey, and this one is sort of plain. It's their normal Collingwood Guernsey pretty much, and they've added a couple of swooping magpies on top of it, which is a nice touch. Looks pretty cool, but it is quite basic and plain. But it is better than their current home Guernsey, so you know what, I'll chuck it in good for now. Next up, we've got Essendon's Indigenous Guernsey, and I actually do like this one. I love the feathers. I think they are of a crow. I don't know what sort of a bird that is, but I do like the design, and I love the red. I just love that shade of red. It looks really, really nice. It pops out straight at you, and it makes me, you know, if I had the money, and plain and simply, if someone gave me the money for it, I'd definitely buy it. But for sure, this one's got to be up there. I'll go below the West Coast one. I think the West Coast one has got to be up there with one of the best. Next up, we've got the Geelong Indigenous Guernsey, and don't know exactly what this is supposed to be. I feel like it's got to be some sort of painting inspired painting on a riverside or something like that. But I like the colours. It works well, the blue and the white. I think the one that they had last year was a bit better. I like the lighter shade of blue. But this one's still a pretty decent Guernsey. But as I said before, probably nothing too special. So I chuck it maybe in the good. And the Giants one, you know, it's alright Guernsey, but yet again, nothing too special or outlandish. And I think this is a repeated design. No, there aren't too many repeated designs this year, but this was one they had last year. So it's, you know, because of that, I'm not going to give too many bonus points for that. A couple of reptiles on the Guernsey and a couple of nice designs on the G, but probably in the decent section, nothing too special. North Melbourne, I think they used part of this Guernsey on another Indigenous Guernsey, but they've added a couple of kangaroos in the background, and that looks really nice, actually. It's a lot better than the one they had last year, where not too many people were a fan of. It was quite basic and plain, but this one, it's actually pretty nice. I like the colours, and I like the style, but it's probably not as good as the ones up in Great, but I could say that it's up there with the Bulldog. I'll put it below the Dogs. I think the Dogs just works pretty well. And next up we've got Carltons. You know, Carlton aren't a team known for their Guernseys. They're pretty plain, they're pretty boring, and for some reason they don't really do well with their Indigenous Guernseys either. This one is a pretty basic one. It's just their normal plain Carlton Guernsey with a couple of patterns on the sides. Nothing really too much to see there, and you could almost mistake that for a normal home Guernsey if you look from far away. So from that, I could almost chuck it down in mediocre. In fact, screw it. We need to put Guernseys in some positions, and there we go. So Carlton, sorry, but there you go. Next up, we've got Freo, another pretty nice Guernsey, and yeah, they can easily replace their chevrons, which they have on their jumper, for boomerangs, but I don't know if they've actually done that with this one. I'm pretty sure there are a couple of boomerangs on there, a few patterns down the bottom, yeah, not a bad jumper, but something that is a little bit similar to their other previous designs. It's not really too eye-catching for me, but it's, you know, it works well. It looks pretty nice. Freo do a pretty good job with their Indigenous Guernseys, we could all agree, so I'll probably chuck it above the Collingwood one. And next up, we've got the Gold Coast Suns, and I like this one a lot. Look at that. The blue stands out. Blue and red stand out very well with each other, with the yellow to complement it as well. But the turtle, the sea turtle, that just comes right at me, and it, yeah, it looks very, very nice. I said it in another video that one of Gold Coast's previous Indigenous Guernseys was one of my favourite Gold Coast Guernsey of all time, and this is up there as well with probably the top 3. It's probably going to be up there in great, maybe above Essendon. Is it above? I don't know if it's above West Coast. I actually really like the West Coast Guernsey in itself. And next up, we've got Hawthorn, which I'm pretty sure is another. Look, if I'm incorrect with this, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure this is you know, being used last year, unless they've changed their Guernsey. But this is the most update I can find. All right, a couple of nice patterns in there, but as I said before, nothing too amazing with that Guernsey. And I might just chuck it up in the decent below the Crows. Actually, wasn't really too appealing for me at all. Next up, we've got the Melbourne one. The Melbourne one's an interesting one. I don't really know what you could call these patterns. That, like, they look like flowers from the naked eye, but I really don't know what exactly they are, so I can't really make the call there. You know, colours work well. The red is definitely the standout colour in that Guernsey. I think it's alright, but probably nothing too amazing. I might almost chuck it in the top of decent or into good. Top of decent, because, yeah, we want to have a variety here. And next up, we've got the Port Guernsey, which there's a bit of controversy with this Port Adelaide Guernsey, because apparently they were doing, you know, they were getting fans, I think, to design the Guernsey, and someone apparently stole a design from another artist, and yeah, there was a bit of controversy over that, but that was all fixed up. And the Guernsey itself looks pretty nice. They've got a couple of two contrasting colours of I don't know what you call them, circle patterns, and the pathway in the middle. Looks pretty nice. It looks pretty good with the Port colours as well, but it's nothing too amazing. It's nothing compared to the ones up here, but it's probably just enough to get put into the good section. Next up, we've got the Richmond Guernsey. I liked the one last year because they were wearing their away Guernsey, the yellow. I think that one just looks better than their home, if I'm going to be honest with you. And this one's, it's alright, but it's something that it's that I've sort of seen. I feel like I've seen something very, very similar to this in the past. But, you know, Richmond have had a few Indigenous jumpers in their history, so I guess it makes sense that they can't go too creative with that one. But I'm going to probably put it below the North one. I think it's a pretty good Guernsey, actually, but nothing too amazing. And next up, we've got the St Kilda Guernsey. There's a lot going on with this Guernsey, but I'll tell you what, I like it a lot. There's I think, is that a bird? Well, it's a bird, but I don't know what bird it is. You can even see Nicky Winmar on the Guernsey where he showed his skin colour in one of the games against Collingwood. And then you just got those spotches of red, white, and black, which I really do like. And I might, you know, say this because I'm a Saints fan, but it's up one of the better ones, I reckon, in this list. So, you know what? Screw it. We'll chuck it in the great. We'll chuck it at the end of great. I actually think the Lions one's just a bit better. And then the last one, we've got the Sydney one as well. I mean, in another video, I said this is my favourite Sydney Guernsey, but the thing that's sort of putting this one down is the fact that they haven't changed this, I don't think, in 3 or 4 years. Like, they've had this Indigenous Guernsey for a while, so I don't know why they're not really switching things around, because every other club seemed to do that, but for some reason the Swans just keep it with one Guernsey, which I guess works alright because it's one of the better ones. But, you know, if this was a new one, I'd probably chuck it up here, but because I've seen it so many times, end of great, because it's still a good one. So there you go, those were the rankings. I've got to have a couple up in the outstanding, so, you know, I think it's pretty easy just to chuck the 2 that are in front of great to outstanding. I don't really want to spend too much time reshuffling. Let me know down below what you think, and maybe I got a couple things wrong, like with a few of the designs. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. You don't correct me on information. You can search it up yourself, so you want to know the history behind these Guernseys or the story behind them. But yeah, mainly we just ranked based on how they look. And go watch Sammy GFC's video on this as well. It should be out as well. Link in pinned comment. So say that you've come from me. And if you haven't subscribed to him, go, why not? Chuck him a sub. But if you haven't subbed to me, feel free to subscribe for more AFL content. I'm very, very close to 9k subscribers. So that'd be very, very nice. And yeah, cheers for watching. And I'll see you guys soon in my next video.